Welcome, welcome, Pittsburgh and all of America and now global. Check that out. America. They uploaded me and put me out there global. I have some cool friends. I do. I do. Thank you so much for that. And for everyone that supports me, getting me those pictures. They were remarkable. And I want everybody to know that they are remarkable. They said so much. They stood up. And they stood up for everybody. Dig that. Dig that. Hey, so it's episode for March 22, 2021. Check that out. If you get this a little early, it's because I do things a day ahead. It does help sometimes. But there's a lot that needed to be said. So you might be viewing this Sunday night. Yeah. Anyway, hey, it was remarkable. I'm speechless for what I saw over there in Europe, Paris, London, all over the place. There was millions of people out. I mean, from what I understand, and from the people who I know that I chat to and I share some of my videos to, and they're posting them over there. America, we are great. But greatness comes in numbers. Strength comes in numbers. I can't push that hard enough. This is a global effort now. It's global. And you know what? I really think I heard some people saying in the background, Trump. Really? That is like so awesome. And that's what we want, right? That is exactly what we want. Anyway, please, I always start out like this. Fantastic day here today. Finally feeling some spring weather. I was out, did my 2 miles. Finally getting a really good sweat. It's happening. The change of weather is coming into the northeastern part of the United States. I have to put it that way now because I think I might be pulling a little bit bigger numbers and some interest to the page here. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you had a great day. And I hope you're being healthy in every which way. We're going to talk more about that, though. I'm going to chew you out a little bit here in a good way. It's all about positive. It's all about positivity. Wow. Yeah. And, it's small businesses are so important. I always say this, and anybody who I support, and I never asked anybody for anything. You can watch my videos at leisure, a little bit now, a little bit later, tomorrow, whatever. They are on my page. Follow the page, and you can click onto anything you want to see and check it out. Maybe you'll catch some of the things I did with the circle back thing. It wasn't so cool, but it was a matter of at the time, and we're all impressed with this time thing on what's going on, and we reflect that in our post. That's not negative. It really isn't. But we need to keep focused on the awareness. And I know there's clues in the awareness, but standing up is the strongest way we can do it. Outside of that, I'm Michael Anthony. I never really say that. So there it is. That's who I am. I'm an old guy from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh rocks. And we could rock a little harder, though. We could. And one other thing while I'm out today, I don't know if you guys are seeing this in your neighborhood. It's still filthy out. I mean, there's got to be millions and millions of masks laying everywhere. But it's just not that I see. Our city is like, I don't know what they're doing with our money and our help and where these guys are. And I know, I'm not trying to be a judge here. Get with it, Pittsburgh. Peduto, get with it. And remember, when it comes time to vote, people, remember that. We need a whole new group of people in this city to take charge of this city and run with it, man. Run with it. Get us into the 2021 era strongly. We can make this year count. We really, really can. All right. But while we're posting all these things, is everybody aware? Are you aware? Are you? China builds a super navy while we're busy posting against. Now, this just hasn't happened, but they're bragging a little bit about how it's just about completed. And like we need that at our front door next, right? Unbelievable. And we know about how China pretty much put Joe in his place in the United States You're either with us or you're not with us. And they were pretty darn direct at that comment that they had. Wow, yeah. So anyway, they're down there doing their thing, building all this stuff, and here we are posting our cartoons still and things of that nature. And I just want to say this to you, in the best way I can, friend to friend, to everybody out there, everybody. We need to wake up just a little bit more. They have think tanks that started all this stuff, and I said this before. Think about where all this stuff comes from. I'm going to talk a little fast here. Think about where all this stuff is coming from. Who develops it? Not everybody you know or yourself develops it. A big, big percentage in the 90 percentile range. It's plants that they put out there. They want you to go with it. They want you to keep busy. They want you to be frustrated. They want you to stay home. Don't. But the bigger picture here is what China is accomplishing, why we have our backs turned and focused into the wrong propaganda. And we need to focus on that part. We need to become more aware. And I know everybody's doing their darn best. But there's some who are not at all. Some who just say, I can't deal with this. You know what? You can't deal with it. You're going to let this country turn into a waste. I don't care who you voted for. It's kicking you in your ass right now if it was Biden and Harris party that you joined. It's kicking you in your ass. Think about what your children are going to face. We can change that voting habit of yours, though. You can come aboard with us, stand strong. We can straighten out this country once and for all. And when it goes back to the way it was, I guarantee you're going to breathe a lot more freely. You will. Now, are you really aware? I want to take you back because I like finding the clues, the hints, the information, and expose. December 2012, Obama pushed into place a bill that did pass in 2013, which is called and signed into effect the H.R. 4310. This allows fake news media to report fake news. Get it? Get it? Basically, they have leniencies. And was this part of the big plan? I wouldn't doubt it because everything that is, it's a puzzle, it's steps, it all fits. It really does. I'm trying to just clue you into how the ongoing effects of where we are right now have happened and how they have happened. So Obama did this, and it was planned. This was all planned. It's premeditated against us as people in the world. The big reset, which we're not going to stand for. Okay, they're not going to wipe out our economy dead. And I got to call it the way I see it that way. But that's the truth of it. That really is the truth of it. Okay, so, yeah, so he did that. I don't know what you think about it, but has to be the whole reason that Trump would stand in front of them and just call them right out. You're fake news. And they could continue on doing it because they were covered by the law. Yeah, right. That's what it is. So you still have suppression going on. We have Poland. We have Russia who's making threats to people, child porn, things of that nature. We got to wipe this slate clean. This is just too dirty. It is more than too dirty. It's too dirty. I said that. I know I did, but it is too dirty. Open your eyes. Open your minds. Now, in New York, the walls are tumbling down a little deeper this weekend. Someone else comes forward. And not only does this woman come forward against Como the homo, she has a witness to the fact. First Joe says, well, we'll support him maybe. And then he says, I'm not going to support him. This problem needs to be identified. Well, Nancy Pelosi didn't want to hear it. It's her constituent down there. Pat the little guy on his head. Nancy, whatever you got to do. But the truth is coming out. And you know what? He's not going to go down alone, just like Hillary said. If I go down, 98% of the Congress party is going to go down with me. Wow. Yeah, I know. And, this lady has power that you wouldn't believe, and she's not even in office, but she doesn't have half the power that Trump has. He's not even in office, and that's one of the strongest men walking the planet, without a doubt. When you hear people on the other sides of the seas shouting Trump, we want freedom, that is a special message. Can you be president in two countries at once? He could do that. He could pull that off. He could probably run over there and win. And I don't doubt that for a heartbeat of a second. I don't. So, yeah, getting back to Como the Homo. It's getting out there more. It's getting harder. And, of course, he's trying to suppress and, discredit these young ladies. And I'm sorry. I'm an advocate for women. You're not going to get away with this. I've read some of the transcript stuff that was, you hope what you get out of the media and so forth is real. But the media seems to be reporting on this, and I wonder what that narrative is. It's getting called out. He needs taken out. Bottom line. CDC makes some new guidelines, it seems. Now 6 foot is still recommended, but 3 foot in some cases will be just fine. And you know what happened the last couple of weekends here in Pittsburgh? And I guess this is the Democratic Party that runs our city and the governor, Ilman Wolf. Full to capacity beyond belief. No exaggeration here. Pittsburgh, some of you already know this. To the world that doesn't, there was traffic jams and blocks that went down the road and across the bridge onto this route of 28 that we have in the sector there, all the way down the other end to Washington Boulevard. Some of you people are getting what I'm talking about. And unbelievable. But come on. Really? Favoritism. And we know that's happened. We saw Wolf in the past allow a car show. In the middle of the height of this, in the beginning, allow a car show. To have a car show with no limitations. And they packed the place. They did. They packed the place. And there was no reported problems due to the fact that they did that either. So what's that tell you? Just as we go to Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot across the United States, Ollie's, whatever you have. I don't know what all guys have, Kroger's and different stores and the Piggly Wiggly and so forth if you head down south. I mean, come on, we can go in these places all the time. All the time. And, there's more damage with a mask anyway, and we know that repercussion of discussion has come up. If your body doesn't release all the carbon monoxides, it lowers your immune system, and your system fights, believe it or not. And I know you know that. You people are smart, you're beautiful, you're brave, you're Americans. You know that. And to our global friends now, yes, that as well, to you guys. And I felt you. Freedom. And that's what we all want. Truly is. Now, Joe has to be careful with choosing words, too. I want to just land on this for a moment. But words have consequences, and they're starting to bite him in his ass. They really are. And then, I'll get back to Joe in a minute. Do you see what Canada did right before they knew about this big protest? And they had threats, and they had people filing for permits all over God's green earth. They decided to open up the Canadian government, said, hey, look, we're going to let this ride and open. Well, they eased the comfort of pain there. I haven't gotten much news, pictures, or anything on the protests, and it could be because, they made a smart move. I hope they don't go back and renege on their word now, though. Could they have just done that to try to hush the issue of the protest and the fact that people wanted to walk and express their freedom of rights? So that could be part of what happened there in Canada, but to you people up there anyway, you rock. You rock. The Canadians rock. Stay strong. Stay strong. This ain't just about America. It's global. And I've said that since the earliest days that I started to release my PC uploads on Facebook. So the Facebook listeners for sure. Anyway, just wanted to get that out to you. Yep. Now, I want to run something by you. we know about all the illegals, right? And now the vote was passed up to 2 million people, shouldn't be a problem. Now, all of a sudden, with recommendations, Joe looks like a guy tripping up the ladder. His puppet string broke. His marionette sort of like, oh, quick repair. They got him up after 3 falls. But anyway, that said, true or false here, people? I want you to think about this. What was the big diversion of this? We have China with 126,000 acres and Bill Gates with 242,000 acres. And they're starting to intermingle farming. Now, wouldn't the narrative fit really well for all those immigrants, the illegals coming in, to start tending to the farmlands? It's not just a theory on my part, really. I may know something you don't. Keep your ears open. Keep your ears open. There's placement, and now our tax dollars placing them in hotels on our dime. Our dime is going to be our tax dollar, and we're going to suffer with this. We are going to suffer with this, and it's going to happen like that. It's going to be on our dime the whole time. They don't care. They don't care. They'll be dead and gone. They'll laugh into their grave. And Lord, have no mercy on these people. None. Anyway, there's the workers. There are the workers. And while they get this little city built on your dime, and believe me, they now need a city. It'll happen. It'll happen one way or another. So anyway, Joe did call for the halt, taking, I guess, recommendations and flack from Homeland Security and everyone else that was down there breathing on his neck and back. They admit change is needed to handle the issue. Yeah, what an issue you created, huh? But yet you'll backstab Donald Trump, President Trump, the President Trump. Yeah, how about that? So, with all this going on and the embarrassment and the stupidness that they find themselves within, this is where we stand. I believe they needed like $86,000 to start housing them in hotels. They got nowhere for the children yet. I mean, they're trying to put up temporary things and make solutions, calling on to people to, take them in. These children, you can't turn your back from children. What goes on here is not their fault. Not by any means. It's not their fault. We are an embarrassment of a country when one of our leaders makes such an error of judgment. And all payback, right? All payback. Diversion to make your plan work. Trump stopped it. You had to get back in there and chop, 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 chop. Yeah, I get it. Look where it's getting you. What else is coming next to you? It's going to get interesting. So, our government doesn't call the shots here. We know that. They're all the little marionettes and puppets, and whatnot. They all sold that. And that's a terrible thing. But I guess they're so deep into the bull that they created, they have no choice but to appease whoever has the goods on them. And as we know, there's been leaks of a lot of things and issues that are coming more clear. I mentioned some of them in my last segment about the possibility of it was Clapper, and he threw a bunch of dirt. There was everything tied up into this interview where he provided a lot of information on a lot of people up there, and it could clean the house. It's that deep. It's that bad. For real. It's that bad. So, yeah. I caught something of a speech that was sent to me. A heads up on how to get to it. And I checked into it and was sitting through it and reviewed it. They refer to this woman as Anastasia Palaszczuk. Okay. I didn't catch her last name, and I will give that to you. But we're now also finding out over there in Europe that part of how this is all going down throughout the whole world, and I'm going to give you more of that information, I promise, tomorrow. I'll connect the dots here and review this again. But her father owns the stores. I'm sorry. Her father owns the largest storage facility of DNA in the world. And it has to do with the laboratory testings and everything as well. So, yeah, follow the money. Follow the money. This was all prearranged. It was all prearranged, without a doubt. And I have some other news for you, too. And I think it's sad and weird all at the same time. And I'll get to that in a second. But now's the time for us to create healing. We need healing in our country. We face the worst realities of what has probably been the biggest HOAX ever to happen anywhere in the world. And we need to stand strong and heal to prevent the reset, because you think you're sad now. Oh, if something like that occurred, your bank account would be very sad as well. And no matter what you got, stimulus, whatever, it wouldn't do you no good. It wouldn't do you no good. But when we get into the whole discussion, going a little further on these COVID tests and all this, and this gentleman that owns this world's largest facility, and we know that he does, there's still the evidence that points out to everything about this punch in the arm is more or less an unknown gene therapy. And there's not a lot of good to say about it, and I don't want to keep rehashing on it. But it keeps coming into my mind because the more time that goes by, the more prevalent everything becomes as to what is true and false. And where I'm going with this is, from what I understand, what I know, and I'll get a little bit more deeper into that in a minute, you cannot believe anything that you're hearing but the true science. There are people of science. The science is not on the side of the White House any longer. In the beginning, when Donald Trump was in the office, President Trump, there was too much suppression even hidden from him. And I think he always knew that, to be honest with you. He gave hints to us on that part, as well as a couple thrown in jokes and so forth. And antimicrobials and so forth are actually vitamin D3, part of. So Trump wasn't off very much, even when he made that jokingly remark, because he didn't really know how to deal with it, because they were claiming, oh yeah, this will kill it, that will do this, heat does that to it. It was all over the place. So we are learning now, in fact, if you knew what was in vitamins, as we do now, looking at the bigger picture, these things do protect you. And they are in vitamins, such as D3, which is very, very good for you, with zinc. Again, a little bit to the future here in a few minutes. I'm going to go over something I think is even more important. This is going to really blow your mind. Hand cleaners. We need to wake up. This word's so big, I don't know if I'll pronounce it correctly. Quantamominium compounds. Are you ready for this? When you walk into the stores, they have that half-gallon container there. If it wasn't from a local beer hop or something in your area that started to make disinfectants and, rubbing alcohol, all that stuff, you better start making your own. You better. Because this compound is in it. Here's the outcome with this compound. Look it up if you think I'm wrong, because I'm not. I wouldn't talk to you about it. But this quantum aluminum compound, I hope to gosh I'm pronouncing that right. It's this long. Okay, both for females and males that use this, and wipes. Be careful on the wipes. And I'm not going to say the who for what, for children, for female, all the things, hands, whatever you're doing. Has a 50% radius of chance of affecting all the reproductive organs in the physical body. True. To further this, we know now that they're planting in all the airports, as well as in Walmart stores, and just variations of all the big league people who bring in people. They're spraying this stuff all through the stores. And this has even a more dire direct effect to you. You might want to have 2 masks on when you go in that store. Because if they're not going to get you with COVID, they're going to start affecting you this way. Reproductive problems. 50% of people could lose reproductive issues. That is called depopulation. COVID. What is that called? What has happened with it? Even though I don't think it's on the same level. Remember, COVID killed the flu. It did. It killed the flu. It's gone. The flu's gone. Or is it? But when you use what they're having out there, and it's mandatory for these stores to use these certain products, they all have it in it. Don't use that bottle when you walk in that store. Do not use that bottle. To me, it's another method, pre-planned, reproductive organs will fail. Depopulation, once again, success. And that's another part of the narrative. If you look deep like I do, and yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so what? There is so much deep, dark that they don't want to disclose. I'm all about disclosure. I don't care if it's paranormal. I'm interested in it. And don't doubt it until you see something with your own eyes. I'll leave it at that with you, okay? I'll leave it just with that with you. When seeing is believing, but you also even question it once you do. Takes a little time for your mind to say, wow. But anyway, no different here. Not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Don't use their product when you walk in. Look to make sure these compounds are not in it and don't let them around your children. Children deserve to grow up and have families too. We want our legacies to go on and have a good planet. We need to stay strong and we need to fight this and expose. And these products have now been exposed. Remember, they made these machines now. They go around, they spray. They telling you it's purifying and cleaning the atmosphere of COVID. Keep breathing it in. Now, hey, it's okay if you're 60, or if you went through menopause and things of that nature. And I'm just talking reality here. It's the truth. But to the younger generations, who want to have children, and also we still don't know, or I haven't followed up into it this way. Can it cause any ill effects to somebody that's pregnant? We know it can play part into getting pregnant. It's proven. Google it. Google it. Quantinominium compounds. Just say it to Google fast. That's what I did. It did come up. It's this long. Check it out. I'm not wrong. All right. Wow. Yeah. One way or the other, right, people? Right? That's why I said, and I've always said, this is global. It's on everybody. It's not just about America, although we have our issues here. But our friends across the sea, all seas, have their issues as well. And, I don't care about those people shoot missiles down there. If they want to kill each other all day long, I followed Trump's trail on that part. He did what he could. He knew things were going to continue. But, if they weren't affecting us in America, it's all gravy, and it's the truth. You can't stop what can't be stopped. When it's in there that way, just like what happened here with this damn disease stuff, that's the way it is. So these, again, just keep in mind where they're using these purifiers. The percentage and rates are a lot higher, and they are going to cause sterilization in ways. So, yeah. That, I think it's spelled QUANTUMAMMONIUUM. I don't know for sure. But please, I want you to look it up. I really do. I need you to back me and put it into your post lines. Push this out there. And again, who's ever getting me over across the thing, thank you so much. I'm getting mail about it. And that's really cool. And again, welcome to spring. Let me just hit my coffee here. What has not changed, right? What has not changed? So disclosure is really important. We need to expose. I saw great things out there. I'm not gonna hit on every one. It's just not worth it. But Iran did also make some threats on our military and one of our military generals. We're waiting for more information. I don't know if what I've seen is credible enough, but we know something did happen, just not real certain. Also, the CDC now is saying 40,000. Now, just keep this in mind. True numbers are starting. I don't know where the pressure's coming from or if they're just on a guilt trip right now. They're admitting 40,000, but we knew they had mistakes. 40,000-ish did die of pneumonia that were weighed into the COVID death toll numbers. We also know that there's, but we're waiting more evidence on different things and waiting to see what they have to say about it all, to be honest with you. So, yeah, there you have that part. We'll find out where the true numbers go and how they climb. Also, we have 17 states now joining in with a General Ken Paxton out of Texas, and he files a lawsuit in support of Sidney Powell, ish, against Biden and Congress, I guess, on what they're doing. But this is going to go to the Supreme Court, and they're asking for this to happen because of what happened in all the lower courts and all the bad states. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Wisconsin. They wouldn't even look at nothing. They turned them down at the lowest levels, and that's why I told you we need to chop their legs off there. Get into all these blue states. Get your people in office that you want in office, even if they don't qualify. If they have to be an attorney or something, I get that. We have to look for the best candidates we can have. But there's a lot of positions, and I don't care if there's a 30-year-old mayor, a 27-year-old mayor running the city of Pittsburgh here. I don't care. We need blood that has a respectability for the human race, number one, which is now more obvious than ever, and to take care of our city. And, we'll support until he learns or she learns the position of the job. Just stand strong for where you are, and we'll do everything we can to chop all these people out of the councils and so forth. Do our parts there. That is so important. So, yeah, you have these 17 states combined. They're all getting together with General Ken Paxton. I got a couple notes here. So let me just review here as I talk to you. Because I can read and talk at the same time. I'm not great at it, but I do catch things, and then it's like, bingo, I remember what I wrote. But this is all about how they use the COVID. And all about how no one cared how the legalities and changes in the voting and ballot entries and all that stuff had occurred. So now they're going to challenge the Supreme Court in a different way. And guess what? If they do, this would invalidate the whole election. It would invalidate those states. This is a very important key here. The key is Joe Biden and Harris, whatever her Hobio name is, would no longer be in the White House. Now, how this would all take effect, if the Supreme Court would actually give us a shot And you need to pitch a real bitch up there. Get your voices heard. This is really important on how this, because of all the information that's come out. It's too overwhelming not to look at. It is. It's too overwhelming. If they invalidated these states, because in fact, the truth, they did compromise the whole election as a premeditated measure of winning. You can call it fraud. You can call it stealing. I don't care. You get where I'm at. We need to put support somehow. I don't know the best avenue to go with this. It's, they got their thing, their legal team. They're going to go in there. How do we support them? Maybe we could show up outside. Maybe we can make a difference in America like they did over for March 20th. Because honestly, what happened in Pittsburgh was a little light. I know we have a life. I know some people live in fears right now. Totally get it. But we were a little light, to say the least, on what happened in Pittsburgh. I would have loved to have been there. I had an eye procedure. I didn't tell a lot of people about it. Didn't think it was worth it. And then I had to go and have an emergency thing because of something. And when I learned about it, I even called out a friend. I was like, hey, why didn't you tell me you're going out? I went. I just couldn't drive. That was my whole thing. I couldn't drive. So the patch is off. It's still a little foggy, but I'm better. Anyway, she went, and she showed great support. Thank you, Mary Kay. Christians out there, we're so blessed to have you. We really are. Mary Kay, your prayers are always welcome. Always know that. I mean that from my heart. I know you support and prayer to the whole country, the United States, and I know your prayers reach globally. I let everybody know that you do this, and you are a good person. Know that. So, 17 states. They're all joining in. What will the Supreme Court do? I don't know. We're going to watch that real close. This is like the best thing in forever that's concrete. We might have a leg to stand on in there. Pray. So, what are the true effects of COVID? I don't know, but I'll give you my thought of the moment, okay? Let me take you into my thought, because I just feel like that's where I need to be right now. Is COVID a killer? Most definitely. It compromises all health issues, and that's where the problem lies, the same as the flu. And we know there's 37 different strands. I'll get into that after I do this little bit. And it's not a funny thing I'm doing here by any means. But if you think about it, COVID did kill the flu. CDC confirms pneumonia. It compromises. It kills because of. Same difference. It killed the economy. Killed millions of jobs. It killed friendship. It killed love. It killed the mental ability to think and keep awake. We still need people to wake. We really do. I think we're all doing good. People who listen to me, listen to Joe, Big Joe, Bongino. Hey, brother, what's up? You need to get this out there. Support, stand up, be more involved. I need your platform, brother. If you see this, by any means, if somebody can send this, voice that for me, please. Us little guys can't get it out there like the big guys. And I'm cool with being little. No, I am. I'm fine with that. Again, what else does it kill? It may not kill, but it creates too. It creates depression and anxieties and worry and suicide and alcoholism. And then you have domestic violence as it grows with all this trapment. People, you need to get outside, live and breathe. Careful what you breathe. I don't trust what they spray. I don't. And we know it's happening. If you don't, please educate yourself. I'd love to do some thing. If you listen to me on a Sunday broadcast where everything is it paranormal, is it something else? This all falls into disclosure. We do know China has big plans, and we know the efforts, and we know that we're on the Paris Climate Accord again. And that's what it is. They spray. When you see that white haze up there, that's not your planes. Go watch planes intake and outtake. You'll see. Now, let's talk about this punch in the arm disease. I try to watch what I say in case they do go through it. If you say it too many times, a mention's not bad, but too many times it'll cut you. So you have like 36, I think, strands of it. 7 of them are bad. 29 of them are said to be benign. How do I know this? Well, America paid for the research for it to be done, to create it. Is this a bio mechanism or was it by accident? How was it released? That's the interesting part that I just said to you. How did it get everywhere so fast the way it did? How was it transmitted so fast? Is it truly person to person? Is it? I don't know. We're finding out more, though. Data is coming in, and it's beginning to really add up. It really is. So I don't know how they did it. I can't say. I can't speculate. But it seems, though, it has... You probably listened to this. I'll be brief. It has a spike protein. And that's the real issue to it. And it has the receptors. Now, that's where the vitamin D and zinc come in. One protects the one way, the zinc protects another way. Also, pink sea salts and water. That pink stuff, heavy granulated, put some of that in your water. It creates like an alkaline. And it's really, really good for you. It keeps you clean and everything like that. So that's true. And as much on the green vegetables and so forth. Stay to the healthy. I've always preached that. You know I have. And this is exactly why I tell you this. This here. You know, I've never missed a day outside. No, out of respect, I put on masks where I go in. It's not worth the headache. Having people look at you, stare you down. Besides that, if they see this and they don't like me, they might shoot me or something. I don't know. Maybe it's an added protection for myself at this point here. But anyway, so you got these receptors and stuff, you know. So it's like these things. And they want to get into your good cells, your NKs, your immunity. And they're smart. And that's why it's considered BIO. And they find their way through. And when you take the zinc doesn't let it take control. It paralyzes it so it can't produce a spread in so many ways. It reduces that function of it. Where the B is your strength. It's the wall that's keeping you well and keeping it less engaged. So some might get through, but the whole product can't get through. B3 is very, very important. Green tablets, call your doctor and tell me you want them tomorrow. Don't buy this stuff over there, but you can buy the zinc. Zinc will be okay, but the D3 pharmaceuticals are your best. A lot of water. Put the pink salts in there too. So, suck on a lemon too. Wouldn't hurt. Really wouldn't. I'm not kidding you. So, yeah, anyway, the receptors, how they get through. Now, the mask, slow it down? Sure, probably did, probably does, but I put up a thing today about, painting and all this stuff, all these different masks, and when you look at the masks that we wear now, like I said, nobody even, hey, you got to wear the N95, has to be the N95. Where's the N95s? They're not even available. Like they wanted you to get it. Oh, we'll advise it. No one's going to listen to us. It doesn't matter. So anyway, with that said, we're just wearing these pieces of tissue over our face. And then I see masks that they're down, they're breathing anyway. They got a mask on, but their whole nose is exposed. Come on. If this was mass hysteria, we'd have mass hysteria. It's not mass hysteria. It's a fear factor. They're bullshitting us, period. That's what they're doing. It will get more exposed. It will. It will be more exposed. So stick with all that on your zinc and all that stuff. Protect all those things and keep your immune system up. That's your fight and your battle. Out of respect, again, I use the mask for the purpose of, I want to walk by people, old people, and have the good sense enough ability to them to say I care enough for them and their feelings. And that's where I come from on that. So with that says, yeah, pretty weird times we live in. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. B3, get it. Get it. And getting into your diet thing, if I could help you in any way with any of that. I mean, I'm diabetic and I'm a health conscious person now. A few years ago, I found out, 2.5 years ago, I found out. Once I found out what my issues were, I changed my whole life. And you know what? It made it a lot better. So what I'm telling you, I've stayed away from being sick in a lot of ways. Not much tomorrow I'll get a cold. And if you get a cold, don't freak out. Stay calm. God, stay calm. Look at the bigger picture. Look what we got to fight on Facebook and all these other places. And look what your kids could be living in if we don't fight this. That should say enough to you to say, I got to wise up. I'm jumping over to the right. I'm going to join up exactly where Michael Anthony said I should. I'm coming over to vote. I'm going to vote the right way the next time. Our door's open to you. Nobody's ever going to reject you. You know? It happened. Things happened. And it wasn't even your fault because we were lied to. You'd have lost. But now we know why all that happened. And let's hope the general gets up here and does a good battle for us. Let's really hope for that. Now, but again, remember, Trump was right all the time on all these things. And just the other thing that just came out as well, and this is days old, but it's fact. And the fact here is a lot of people said a lot of things about him that just weren't true. And now we know that that is a fact because now they're all like, oh, our source was bad. Guess who the sources were? Nancy Pelosi herself is the source. And that is the truth. She's admittedly made statements on how they run their offices to stir the trouble up. Go back and look at it. They were the feed to all this. That was the source of info. When the tapes got released of the conversation, so they kind of apologized. And they weren't good enough at it. But there's a narrative here on how everything's to take place. We have a very dirty DP deplorables up there in Washington. And right now we don't have all the right places in the seats that help us. And that's why they're getting away with murder right now. And we probably have some bad apples on the right. We're going to have to look for those. We really are. You do know about Trump's media platform coming out in the next 2 to 3 months? I'm sure you do. It's been making headway out on the Post and whatnot, but I wanted to throw that in for you. But again, the narrative in 2012 with Obama and how this basically gave an open format to how the media chose to. They knew they were going to attack Trump from day one. They protected themselves on the back end in places, but they didn't do it everywhere. We have to look for these gray areas. I always talk about gray areas. They're open. They're there. We got to find them. We have to find them. Again, the border wall's closed. We're going to wind up probably having to build the city. And with all that land, again, the China and gate zones, just to give you a little review of what I talked about, it looks like they got their workers for these whatever new synthetic meat and biological milk, breast milk. I don't know. These people were sick, and you know it. You know it as well as I do. And he's still preaching that he knows everything. But yet he's not licensed to open his mouth to even talk to you about it. Nobody can produce a license to show me anything. And I asked you larger people and platforms out there, I'm coming to you from where I'm at. You're sitting behind these hoity-toity studios. I'm a small guy. Find out some other stuff. Quit ranting about the same thing over and over. Find out the important gig stuff. What's going to happen? What's going on? And I'm not saying you're not doing a good job. You are. You're doing a wonderful job. You're perfect. You're beautiful. You're Americans. I get it. But also keep in mind what that does psychologically to people, too, with this repetitiveness. And I stress this to all of them out there, and I'm guilty, too, in ways, but I'm trying to give it a softer edge of delivering. I don't know if I'm being successful at it. Because I at least have the decency to say to people, for me, and this is me as a person, as a human being with compassion for my fellow people of the world, I'm here for you. If I can do something, I've offered to take people for jobs. They won't take jobs. The world has changed, and it's terrible for how it's changed and what it's become. Because they know how to buy your vote. $21,000 bonuses to the federal government employees? Come on. Why are they worth it, but you won't do something for the Americans? Why don't you give everyone in America $21,000? You had the money. What would that stimulus really have done? I mean, at least to the worker people. You know, because there's a lot of people that are in the government support system that our tax dollars are going to continuing by us spending the money and getting the money and paying taxes on it anyway. Just like unemployment over 10,200, 10,400, that one of the two figures, then you're taxed. Really? That is how we fixed the stimulus, right? Well, yeah, sure. We gave it to them. Let's take it back. Yeah. Be careful when you do your taxes. Make sure you get some extra money aside, especially if you collected unemployment. And I can't wait for all these bad apples in the unemployment lines who accepted money and defrauded the programs and stuff. Because good people are still waiting for money, never even got it. And the first part, now we're in the first part of 2020 and throughout that. And I know somebody who never got a check yet. But they approved her for this year, this young lady. So now they got to catch her up on this year, and they're going to be on track, I guess, now. But 2020. And she filed and never heard nothing. And how many people did that happen to? So how money is distributed is not always in the best way, for sure. A lot of mistakes were made. We learn from mistakes, though. We learn from them. And nobody, I guess, was prepared for this. But again, they take orders from the top. Who knows how that works? Who actually knows what's being said? So please, look into your cities, borough, townships, municipalities. Especially in the blues and in some places in the reds. You know who we need to change. You know the bad apples. These people that support the wrong all must go. They must go. It doesn't matter who you voted for, people. You can come to the right side now, because the future of America, the well-being of your children, what's taught in schools, the education to come, is going to be a lot on where you stand real soon. And if we hit them at the bottom, break the foundation, Trump's getting ready to hit him from the top. It's like a football game. Think about it. Boom. Washington's going to drop. Who are they going to control? States will take over states' responsibilities until Mr. Trump gets back into the office, unless the general's successful and Sidney Powell keeps doing as well as she's doing right now. And if you need help on how to get help on how to change your area and support, text 474747. FloridaDefend.org. They will help you. They will help you. But I can help you right now. I know Pittsburgh, we need change big time. Oh, our council needs to go. It's no more who you know or my kid was in office. It's been family politics. That's the shit that has to stop. This is why we have this issue. They need gone. Say goodbye. Bring them back no more. Stay retired. Stay over there. Go retire. Get out of the picture. And when this is all over, we need to judge these people. Do they even deserve pensions? Or should they even pay back the money and wages that they accepted through the corruption? We have a lot of issues we need to address. Many. I can't get to all of them that I'd like to vent to you. I can't get to all of them. And we are an embarrassment of a country. But not only us, all countries. I hope during the next walk, and there will be a power walk, the power of freedom will come. Just like I hope for my dream. Billboards across America. I would love for that. billboards across America and put up and expose every damn criminal act that these people have done. Put the bullseyes on them up there. That's where it matters. That's where the punishment will be. When they have to ride down the street, they might laugh it off. Yeah, we're in power now. But there will be a day, retribution will happen. We will hold them responsible. We will hold them responsible. Ugh. I could tell when my eye's almost up. And I would do this longer for you. I really would. But I don't know. Hey, you got hats off to you, Miss Cindy. You're going to have her for 3 hours coming up now. I just hope she goes a little easier. I love her. I think she speaks from her heart. But how many times the same narrative can we repeat as podcasters? You know? That's why I consider myself an APC broadcast. I don't put myself on the same platform as them. And yeah, could I create a more elaborating focal point for myself here? Sure I could. I could put something up. I can make it look really cool, man. All you do is put up a couple bars and put up a fake curtain, drop back, and put the 10 on it large, you know? All I have large is I got face masks that say 10 on them and stuff that I send to people. And I have some new ones coming from a friend that are really cool. They have the 10 on the front. Again, Mary Kay, thank you. I want to say hi to a friend who needs a little emotional support too, over in Northside. You know who you are, young lady. Support. Positivity. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Also, Megan, if you hear this at the end, I want you to know you're in my thoughts. I'm sorry for your loss. To all the small businesses in Pittsburgh, I'm here for you. I'll be getting ready to do another expose that's going to even be improved more. And it's going to be all about you, again, when I do it and broadcast it out that way. And we'll be uploading it a couple times a week to make sure people hear it. But I want to say hello to you guys and let you know I have not forgotten you. I hope you did well. I did everything I could here to push a little stimulus to you. And I hope you all did well for these folks. They need our help. They really do. And again, they're our support mechanism as well. They're our voice. They come in contact with a lot of people. They do. And if we support them and they're strong in their position and they know it's coming from us, they're going to support us. They won't leave us down. They won't let us down. They won't bring us down. They're going to support us wholeheartedly of getting more people awake because people are becoming awake. We just can't get them to do it fast enough. Like yesterday, wake up. Shake them, shake them. Anyway, yeah. So this is the March 22nd edition. Sometimes, again, I want you to know I do it a little early sometimes, most of the time. Not to be the first one out there with news either. So, I'm coming from Pittsburgh. Hello, America. And global now. Thanks for pushing me and sending those videos over there to your friends, and I appreciate what they're telling you. Yeah, who knows what can happen with things in life? I don't know. I'm not looking for anything more than what happens today and what I can do for tomorrow. I want your children to be safe. I want you to be safe. I want you to be healthy. I do. I want you to be healthy. I want you to prosper. I want you to believe in the faith that you want to believe in. We'll figure out history and other things once we get all this other stuff corrected. That's all I can say, really. So know that I care. Know that we are a voice for you here at the 10. This is 10 o'clock talks. Don't change that dial when you see this. I am Michael Anthony. I did tell you that for a change, didn't I? And I thank you for watching again. I really do. It means a lot to me. And as I always say when I'm signing off, I got to go live to something in a second now and send it so it goes over to Paris. I have a friend there waiting for something. Don't judge me. I'll never judge you. Lights are on.